Suneera Madhani. Suneera Madhani.
Without much further ado, I'd like to welcome Suneera.
Hi, I'm Suneera Madhani, a mom of two, daughter of an immigrant, and an unlikely entrepreneur who built a billion-dollar business. Yes, billion. Now I'm doing it again and building my second unicorn, Worth. Shockingly, less than 2% of female founders ever reach 1 million in revenue, and I'm on a mission to change that. At CEO School, we mentor thousands of women to help them level up in business and in life. We believe that you deserve to have it all because honestly, nothing bad happens when women make more money. Grab a seat because class is officially in session. Welcome to CEO School. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the CEO School podcast. We are here live from the Millionaire Founders Club Retreat, and I hope you are having just the most fantastic start to your week. I'm so excited you're tuning in today. I've got such a special treat. We have another speaker that I'm bringing to you live from the conference because why not? I'm so excited to be able to share all of these incredible women with you. Their stories are phenomenal. And what we're learning in this conference right now, just being around 7+ figure women, these conversations are just next level. And the conversation we're about to have today is something that we all need as female founders, which is more visibility. We need to not just be able to, we know our stories, we need to be able to share our stories and finesse our stories, but we need to be able to reach our audiences, our customers, become thought leaders in our space. And in order to do that, you need to have people that you surround yourself with that can do that for you because it is so difficult to do it just on your own. And so with that, I'm so excited to introduce our next guest, Cris Gordon, who is the founder of CBee Communications. She has had over 20+ years in PR and communications, and her agency supports so many brands that I'm so excited for you to hear about every brand ever. New York-based agency, and she's been supporting brands for such a long time, but she also supports founders. And so on stage, Cris led an entire panel on visibility. How can we achieve PR? What are the best practices? And I'm like, I got to take you upstairs right now and we got to do this podcast. So Cris, welcome to CEO School.
Thanks so much. Okay, first off, Suneera, it has been such a great weekend and retreat. I feel like as female founders and as women, we really need that support system in order to feel like we can go out and just embrace the next day. Because sometimes in business, when you're alone and kind of in a silo day to day, you just need to feel reinvigorated.
Yes.
And whenever I'm around you and all the amazing women that you bring together, I feel so good. I feel like I'm on top of the world. So thank you so much for having me.
Goodness.
And the panel was so fun. It was everything about this weekend has been amazing and so meticulously thought of and put together, which I appreciate as a PR strategist because I think everything that you build is such a representation of your brand.
Yes.
And people can feel the passion that you have.
I love that. Thank you. I do feel it. I feel it. And that this is why we set up, we haven't done this in the past where we were like, let's just set up the podcast studio here. And then the best moments that are happening, let's go back and share it back with these audiences because I know everyone can't be in the room. We can't even hold everyone in the room. And you're invited to the table. Everyone's invited to the table. But this is our way of being able to take those conversations, those key lessons, those key learnings, and then bring it back to all of you. So I'm so excited, all the strategies that you shared. And so let's get right to it. So I'm just excited. So tell us about your agency first and your background, and then we'll dive into how all of us as founders can really be strategic about our brands because it does make all the difference.
It really does. So I started CBee Communications about 8 years ago after a long tenure in the beauty industry on the PR side. Mm-hmm. And I was at multiple agencies working with really big brands, Revlon, Almay, all the things really deep in the beauty world because I'm such a beauty gal. And then I went in-house at a beauty brand and I suddenly noticed that there was this kind of missing link when you're at an agency. And so when you're at an agency, you're almost like a little bit too far from the client in a way that you can't be as nimble, you can't be as agile. If there's shifts internally, you can't really shift your PR plan as fast around them because you're not as connected. When you're in-house, you have the ability to connect the dots really quickly and pivot when you need. Yeah. If there's a product that's not going to be released or a founder story that needs to come out or something that you want to amplify, you could do it really quick when you're in-house. So I thought to myself, how can I bring the two worlds together? Mm-hmm. How can I create an agency that is like an extension of your in-house team, So you truly feel like you have a rapport, you have relationships with them, and that you can call them, you can send them an email, or you can just like shoot the shit and be like, I have some ideas and it's really creative and fun. Yet you have the power behind you and the fuel behind you of an agency with all the relationships and the vendors and the network that you need when you are a brand that's trying to grow. And so I started CBee Communications from there. And I had such an amazing opportunity to work with the brand that I was in-house for, which is a really big beauty brand called Cicely Paris. They came with me as my first client.
Oh, I love that.
And so the president there at the time, he was so supportive, and he's like, well, the best managers let their star employees shine. And which was the lesson I always now live by, right?
Yeah.
As a a boss of many people. And it just kind of started from there, right? So I got to do the thing that I loved the most, represent brands that I love and I truly believe in, and also represent people behind the brands. Because I have media trained high-level CEOs, celebrities. I mean, believe it or not, even though celebrities are paid actors, actresses, when they're representing a brand, they have to be trained on how to show up for the brand and be ambassadors of the brand. So I was able to really do that and sink my teeth into what it's like to work with the talent, the people behind the scenes that you want to bring to the forefront, and how do you excel their brand and have them show up in a way that's like polished and confident and exciting. Then they're going on to get exposure, build a bigger network, and ultimately leads to more and more sales, right? So it's like everything is so connected. And I think nowadays people just want to understand what's behind the brand that they're buying.
100%. I feel like now gone are the days, like we're not being sold to, right? We want to, there truly is influence by people, and not like, and of course that's where influencers, that's where it comes from. But I want to buy brands that I care about, that care about the same value, like the same things that I care about as a human. And I want to buy from real companies. Like I want to buy from smaller companies. I want to buy from founders that I love. I want that story. I want that connection. And it goes across the board. It used to be for certain products and certain things. And now it's literally across, even I'm buying software that way. Like I'm buying from brands that I truly feel connected to.
Yeah, I think every brand needs to have a story. Even if you're a legacy brand and there's not technically a founder at the helm, there still needs to be a story so that it can connect back to the consumer, right? Why were people buying that product in the first place 20 years ago when it really became such a deep-rooted legacy brand? How do you bring that alive today? And so that's really what we work on at CBee Communications. And it's what we specialize in, right? It's not just about the media. It's like everyone's a publicist now. You have a phone in your hand, in your pocket. You have access to media, and you can own that media channel. And so we really work to, I would say, train, but also educate our clients on the importance of showing up as your own personal brand within the organization and externally.
Okay.
Right? Because it has to be consistent. Who you are has to be consistent.
I agree with that. So, we've got so many, our audience is all female founders, and they have powerhouse. They have great stories. I don't meet women who don't have great stories on why they're starting a business. Like they're starting a business because there was a problem. There was a need. There was something that no one else solved. And now she's like, fuck it, I got to do it because no one else is doing it. And she's like, I got to raise my hand to go solve this thing as well. And that's how most like women start companies.
Badass women.
Yeah.
They're like, you know what? If no one's going to take care of it, I
have
will.
to. Yes. Give it to a busy woman.
Yeah.
But we're like the last to, to advocate for ourselves either, right? So we start the company, and this part of it is so important. And now I think more and more we realize the importance of it. We understand that we do want to get our story out, but also we have tight budgets when we're starting a company, right? And so hiring a PR agency, is expensive. You do like, where do I spend my dollars? Do I spend my dollars on building my product? Ads for my company. There's like my team that I need, and so you're so resource strapped. What are the best ways for early stage founders that you have found that they can start getting visibility, or what are places that we're not thinking of?
So I would say first and foremost, just learn what your story is going to be.
Okay.
Right? Because at the end of the day, if you're not showing up consistently across the board, even if the conferences or the events that you're attending have a little bit of a different audience, there needs to be a golden thread. So understand what that thread is going to be and make sure that you're telling it in every single room, some version
Can
of
we
it.
talk about what we were talking about last night in our roundtable that we were having with the girls? So we were having a discussion on founder stories actually, and one of the women was talking about her story is feeling lost right now and how we can tie the story together. And I shared a sentiment that we kind of had mixed discussion around, which is what this is all about. And I actually feel like when founders introduce themselves and they are like, I do this and I do this and I do this, and it's like this badge of honor, which it is. Like if you run multiple companies or you're passionate about multiple things, that's exciting. And I love that you're passionate about that. However, when you're telling it and you're not telling that story cohesively, I'm lost. I'm like, what do you do? And what can I come to you for? Why should I come to you? What are you the expert in? Or if I think of a client, like, I'm going to go directly to you. If I know somebody needs PR, I'm like, oh, I got a gal. I'm gonna. You should talk to Cris, right? And so your story is really clear on what you do. Okay, let's unpack that a bit, because that founder story, you may think that you have your founder story right. How can we get this, like, our story articulated concisely, clearly, and with like the right message?
And that's really like the first step of our program. We have something called the Impact Academy, and it's an acronym that takes you through all the stages to become a thought leader and to own your message. But identifying that message is the first piece. So I think what's important is that you have to kind of take a step back and look at your life. I'll give myself as an example. I am a mom of 4. I am
an incredible mom of 4. By the way, 2 of your babies are downstairs.
Yes.
And you were like breastfeeding at the conference. Oh my God.
Well,
so
I appreciate you for like having a room where you can be a mom and be a boss. You know, I think that's so important in this time to be able to embrace the duality of your life. And to that point, when you show up someplace and you are so many things, it can get a little bit confusing to your audience. Well, what is she known for? So I think it's all about kind of leading with what we call like your true north or the North Star. And then people can get to know all the other pillars of your life, but they understand what you're really about and what you really stand for. So it's not like I walk in a room and I'm like, I'm a certified lactation consultant. I have baby mama. I'm a children's book author. I also own a PR agency. Yes, I have all these things. But when you get to know Cris, you're likely getting to know a woman who loves to help brands and people tell their story, grow their confidence, and be able to impact the world and change the world for the best through those tactics. And all of the other pieces of my brand fall under that, right? It's like, it's supporting women. That's lactation. That's all of the motherhood work that I do, supporting those communities and moms and making sure that we can show up as our best confident selves. And then you have the storytelling. That's CBee Communications, right? I also have multiple divisions within CBee Communications. And so instead of me saying everything,
kitchen sinking it all, yes.
Exactly. It's like lead with your North Star. Figure out whatever, we call it an umbrella. So you have an umbrella, and underneath the umbrella are all your content pillars, but the umbrella protects you. And so you have that umbrella in order to go out and kind of have your armor. And there's some really, really great case studies of women who do it really well. So it's like, start to look at the women that you love and the brands and the founders that you really love. Suneera being one of them, has many, many things. You're multi-hyphenate. You have many different companies and many different things that you're involved in. And yet when you show up, people know exactly who you are, right? So there's a tactic to that. And if you don't know where to start, just start by identifying your message. From there, everything starts to fall into place.
I think that the business expert piece, or like the umbrella piece of like knowing your North Star, is super important, and just picking it. That doesn't mean that you can't be those other things. And I love that you talked about the pillars, because that's something that I use all the time effectively in social media. Like even in our, in how we're, talking to our audiences, how I'm talking to my audiences, there's 5 pillars of my brand under that umbrella. And now we're just going to sing cue Rihanna here. Under my umbrella, Ella, Ella. We're just in a mood this morning.
Well, we're having some fun.
Yeah. No, but it is true. And so I can be a mom. I can have CEO school to empower women. I am a business leader. Like, I want to be known as a badass in business. I scale companies. That's what I do. The companies that I scale, I have tech companies that I scale, and that's a huge part of my story in building and exiting my first business. But a huge part of my story is my family. I get to work with my brother. My mom's downstairs too. I'm a girl mom. I love my kid. Like, I love my family. Like, that's a huge part of wherever I go. That's a part of my brand pillar. And supporting women, because I was so lonely in the tech bro world, is how CEO school came about, because I didn't go to CEO school. And so, but when I lead, or when I'm walking into rooms, and it's also important to know how to lead in the rooms that you're into, right? And so how to lead in the rooms. And so there is that North Star tactic that you do have to, like, that umbrella that you do have to have. And it's okay that as your audience is getting to know your story, or getting to be able to show those different parts of you, but to kind of treat them as like pillars of your brand.
Definitely. And here's how I like to explain it. You have an elevator pitch or a story, whatever that may be. And you can have multiple different ingredients. The ingredients should always be the same. So let's pretend you have tomatoes, Italian seasoning. Of course, I'm Italian.
I know.
Dominican,
We can hear it. We can hear your New York.
I'm going to talk about food. I have to. So
From Long Island.
Then you have some cheese and you have some flour.
Yeah.
In one room, you might make focaccia, right? You might have a nice little like pizza or a flatbread. In another room, you might make grilled cheese and tomato soup.
Yeah.
In another room, you might make pasta.
Yeah.
But the ingredients are the same, right? Even though the audience are different and they like different things, they still understand if they were in that room and then they're in the room right next to you, they're not confused. Oh, she's showing up as this one way. And
Yeah,
then
but it's
this
still
is another
Italian
way.
across the board too. You're not having Chinese and Mexican and everything.
Exactly.
You're not,
It's like there is a consistency.
Yes.
And so that's how I like
it's
everyone
the
to think about their
secret
brain.
sauce.
It's the secret sauce. There we go. It's the secret sauce. And so that's why when I talk about brand building inside of our accelerator in our program, I like to give that analogy
Yeah, I
because
like that.
it's almost like a way to break it down really simply.
Okay.
What are your ingredients that are always going to show up? How can you practice them? And in different rooms to different audiences, how can you make sure that ultimately you are always a cohesive version of the person that you want to show up as? Because that's what's going to make you more memorable.
I love that. Okay, let's talk about one of your pillars, which is motherhood. And I'm so excited about something that is just launched. And I just want you to share it because I'm
Yes.
so pumped for you.
I'm so excited. And thank you so much. I mean, motherhood is such a big part of who I am. And, you know, for a long time, starting a business and not knowing if brands would take me seriously anymore. It's when you work with big corporate brands too, you're so concerned. It's like, when I become a mom, are they still going to want to work with me? Or are they going to think that I can't juggle it all? And that way of thinking is so dated. But yet society has kind of put us in that bubble, unfortunately. And so I really set out to break a lot of those boundaries, and being able to be around women like you and seeing you do it all and literally sell your company for billions. It's like, that is the badass type of women that are out there doing the thing while also being moms.
Yes.
And what came to me one day in like a divine download, literally about 2 years ago, it was the fact that there really is no children's book literature around working moms
Yes.
in the way that you can use as a tool to help your kids almost like cope with the fact that you're going to be traveling or you're going to be at long days at work sometimes, and that you love them so much and they give you your power.
I have chills already when you say that.
It's just because, you know, we get kind of sad as moms when we have to leave, and we feel like
Not kind of. It's
heartbreaking.
literally so hard. And like mom guilt is real. I've been in so many rooms where like screw the mom guilt. You don't need, like, the mom guilt doesn't have to be there. You're doing this for your kids. All of this stuff, it doesn't work. Like, I have mom guilt. I want to be with my kids and I want to be in the conference. Like, I want both. And I can't have it both like all the time. And when I leave them, I am sad. And I do my best to ensure that they know why I'm going. I incorporate them into like routines. I bring them along to so many conferences, but it's also hard on them too.
it is. And they need a tool, right? And I think we have to remember that motherhood and business, it's going to be a duality, and there's always going to be a series of trade-offs.
Yeah.
And the kids are going to feel those trade-offs in some capacity, right? I mean, I had a baby in November and I got on a plane a month and a half later and I left the baby behind. And yet it was what was necessary for me to continue to grow, but also for me to feel myself, right? And I want everyone to know that motherhood is not something you have to hide behind.
Yeah.
Because you're worried that society is going to think that you can't really do all of the wonderful things that we are capable of. In fact, it's like a badge of honor. You know, it's kind of like your superhero suit.
Yes.
And so that's where that was all inspired by. So many people in my life would be like, Cris, how do you do it? You're such a superhero. And it's like, you know, I don't feel like this, you know, superhero. And yet, maybe that's what we all need to believe about ourselves in order to continue to show up and do the hard thing and feel the feelings.
You are a superhero. We are superheroes.
Thank you. And that's what the book is about. So it's called The Adventures of Mommy Marvelous. And it's going to be a series. The first book has rolled out and is very, very exciting because, and I only put 2 of my kids out of 4 in the book so far because I said, you know what, mommy's got to be a little bit ready to like grow her family and show the world that you can have everything that you want. But also the book is really about a mom who loves her kids. Her they're her kids who absolutely think that she is like so cool and so interesting, and they wonder what she's doing, right? Whenever she's like jetting off to a work trip, they think she's really flying. They kind of jump into this imagination world where they're wondering behind the scenes, is she a superhero?
Yes.
Or is she just like a regular everyday woman? And you don't really know. And you kind of have to read the book to find out.
Oh my goodness.
But the exciting part is at the end.
So is she Mommy Marvelous? She's Mommy Marvelous. Okay. Oh my God, this is so
exactly.
good.
So it's like you have to find out, is she Mommy Marvelous, or is she just you or me, or are we all Mommy Marvelous, right? And so that's what it's all about. And you get to dive into the kids' imagination about what mommy could possibly be up to. It also gives you a tool to be able to read before a business trip or before a long week at work and say, listen, let's sit down. Let's read this book. Mommy's got a lot going on this week. And I want to make sure that you remember that you're a superhero too. That's why mommy has all her strength. That's how she can go out and do superhero things, is because of you guys. And so it just allows us to have a talking track with our kids.
I could cry. This is so needed. This is so needed. I am so grateful that you did this project, that you birthed this project, your fifth baby.
Yes.
And it's a series, and I can't wait to have my physical copy. I know it like just launched. You're starting your book tour right now. We're all going to be supporting it. This is so, so phenomenal. I know every woman listening that's a mother right now, it like has children. Even if they're not a mother, they know a superhero, working
Definitely.
mom who could use this in her toolbox.
Yeah, exactly what I wanted it to be, right? And which brings us back to this umbrella. At the end of the day, I want to support women, tell their story, show up confidently, and you want to be able to build a world where you can leave a lasting impact. And that's something that is my North Star mission, right? And that the book is just a part of that content pillar for me. So
I love that. We can't wait to get our hands on it. So Cris, book tour right now, helping women founders and big brands.
Yep.
Any other like PRs? It's like, I know this episode is like, how are you launching this book, right? So now in your own book launch, maybe we can use that as an example. What are the best ways that you're amplifying your story and getting the buzz about Mommy Marvelous?
So we're generating buzz. I mean, that's the exciting part. I get to do what we do, but for me.
Yeah.
And, you know, as the publicist, you're always kind of behind the scenes, right? I always say we're the woman behind the woman. And that's how I kind of grew up in this industry. And so now to be able to like have to step into that spotlight is something funny. Even though I love to talk and I love to be on camera, it's not something that I'm shy about. It was never really about me. And yet being in this amazing network of women who like want to support me back, it's like, okay, Cris, come on out. And it's like, so you like come back from behind the curtain. It's like, hey, here she is. And so we have a bunch of podcasts lined up, a bunch of press opportunities lined up. I rebranded my entire website. I did the most fun photo shoot with my kids. It was amazing.
God.
It was freaking crazy because all 4 kids were there and it was wild. And my husband's like, what kind of circus is this? But the pictures came out so amazing and it really just exemplified my life. I worked with Mary from the icing agency who did such a great job. Because remember, even when you're an expert in something, sometimes you have to hire another expert to be able to give you insights on you.
I would say like that's also like give yourself permission to invest in these things, right? Because yes, we can. And there is a balance between like where your business is at and like you can't invest in all the things, right? So picking the right things and doing them strategically are really important. But when you hire an expert to do something, it does get done. And I love that you talked about rebranding and repackaging the rest of it before a launch. I think that that's really solid advice because so often we're not paying attention to what our house looks like inside. And people do. I would say I don't even go to websites anymore. I go straight to check out someone's social. I go straight to check out their even for brands, like even for the company page, I go straight to the company page. I go to the founder page and I go to the company page to go find them, even on Instagram. And I go find them and I learn what I need to. And then from there I can go to the website, but I usually now check social first. So that's a really good, important reminder that it does matter. Like in 2025, this does matter and it's mattering more and more. And so clean your house up, hire an expert to get it right. Yes, you can do it. Now we also have great AI tools to help us to audit and to do so much stuff. Like ChatGPT can help you do all of that as well. So if you are, you know, wanting to take your first pass at it, but hire the experts to get your house in order.
I mean, that you said it best, because at the end of the day, we don't know what we don't know. And yet sometimes even when we do know it, we need an outside party to tell us, because maybe we're so in it. Like for me to do all of my own PR, I'm way too close to it.
Yeah.
And so we have to remember that there is a part in your career where you're going to be able to do a lot of PR on your own. And I want to encourage you to do that. That's what a lot of my programs are about in our executive brand presence pillar of the company. Because at the end of the day, with the right tools and the right education, with that phone in your pocket, you can actually go out and do your own PR. You can connect with the right people. You can go out and you can be a thought leader. You can be attending. If you want to speak at a conference, go to the conference first.
Yes.
Meet the right people, right?
That's good advice.
Go and be in the place that you want to be, because if you can see her, you can be her. And so when I am teaching people how to essentially run their own PR campaign.
That was so good. If you can see her, you can be her. I love that.
Yeah, and it's true. We need to see women like you. We need to be able to see ourselves in that position. So what's the first step? Getting in the room, walking in the room, walking right through the door, finding a way in, right? Have the grit and the prowess to figure out how you're going to get there. And so when you go out and you do your own PR with a few tools, an understanding of your message, how you're going to package that up beautifully for your audience, then it's just about talking, right? Like a publicist is nothing but like the best chatty Cathy in the world, right? And why I love my job so much, because I could talk for literally forever.
We can listen to you forever.
It's my favorite thing to do. I was like most talkative and best personality. Those are my two superlatives in high school.
Yeah,
and I'm like, can I put that on my resume? And I did try. But at the end of the day, if you love what you do, even if you're introverted, like put on that like power suit that makes you feel confident so you can step out and feel a little bit more ready, and then know your story really well, practice it, and then go out there, right? So no matter what it is, no matter what personality type you have the ammo in your back pocket. And then when it's time and your brand starts to escalate, you hire your PR strategist. But there's a lot of tools. I mean, we have a digital program that you can buy at a fraction, literally a fraction of the price for hiring a PR agency.
Yeah.
And it's like, and I don't ever want to shoot myself in the foot by like stopping retainer business, but the reality is I want to be able to give more women a voice. And so we need to make it accessible for them, right?
Yes.
So that's a really big part of my brand and my vision. And so that's why it's a part of my business, right?
I love it. Where can we find you, Cris? So let's where can we find you? How can we support you? Where can we buy Mommy Marvelous?
Yay. Okay. So Mommy Marvelous available on Amazon. There will be a few other retailers rolling out, which I'm really excited about. You can follow me at Cris Gordon PR on Instagram and chrisgordon.com, and then at CBee Comms on Instagram, or CBee Communications. That's our agency.
We'll link everything off of your page. I'm so excited. This is so needed, Cris, and you really are Mommy Marvelous. I have truly just witnessed it myself on so many occasions. I follow you online. You truly are uplifting women. You're a badass in business. You're so incredibly sweet and soft, and you really do it all with 4 fucking kids. Like literally 4 kids under like 7. Like I don't even know. Like it's just nuts to watch. And it is a circus, and I love your circus. Like I love following your circus.
Yeah, I think we can all be like the ringleader of the most fun parts of our life, and embrace it.
And I'm really excited for Mommy Marvelous. So go get your copies. Thanks for all of the awesome PR tips. We'll be linking everything. And
thank you.
I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode of CEO School. Tag us, share this, go follow Cris, go buy the books. I can't wait to use this for my girls at night. Thank you for this.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone. We'll see you guys next week on the CEO School.